All right, we're going to be demonstrating our 5-texture tile. In class, you've already completed your worksheet where you've worked on your identity stamp. You have brainstormed 10 textures, you've done tiles, and then you've made a design drawing each of them in there. Also in class, you've worked on completing the pen and ink portion, which is the art portion, using thick and thin lines, and you've also traced out the shapes onto your template. Today, we're going to be using a slab that I previously rolled and then working on getting our textures onto the tile. So you separate the template part off. This part gets turned in, and take your slab. The slab is the even thickness of clay that's been rolled out to about 3/8 of an inch, and it should fit. If not, then you need to squish it, roll it just a little bit more. I suggest that you actually cut the whole thing out. It just makes it easier for trimming purposes. You are going to be using your leftover pieces of clay to create the textures, so it's good for you to conserve your slab. So instead of putting it right in the dead center, I'm going to snuggle it up and make sure that I get some large pieces in case I need those. I like to use either a felting knife to cut the clay, or actually my favorite tool is the handy dandy paper clip. There's only a few of these in the classroom. What you're going to do is you're going to line your ruler up with the edge of the paper template, holding your paper clip straight up and down at a 90-degree angle. You're going to trim. Again, save this clay. I recommend putting it right into plastic so that it stays nice and soft. Make sure you press straight up and down to get nice angles and edges. Do not worry about the hole that will be used to hang the tile. That was one of the last things we were going to do. Keep these little pieces of clay under plastic so that way they stay soft. Next thing I'm going to do is take my pencil and I'm going to trace over the lines that divide my tile into the 5 sections. The identity stamp I'm going to add last, because I may need to add it as an additive, or I may just want to press it right into the tile. I haven't decided yet. Once that's done, you can now see the divisions. So this is my 1, my 2, my 3, my 4, and my 5 texture. My 1 texture asks me to make, I'm going to use my plan, I'm using small squares of clay. So I'm going to take the clay, I'm going to press it nice and flat. You don't want it as thick as the original slab. You could use a roll-in pin for this, but there's no need. Your hand is perfect. And then using my handy dandy paper clip, I am going to trim neat, even squares of clay. I'm not going to worry about little tiny messes. Those will get taken care of later. Each piece, I'll squeeze in my hands to make sure that the little tiny messes are gone, and then I'm good to go. So if this is space 1, before we do anything, we must score and slip. So I know that I'm going to be making an even horizontal vertical grid here. My slip is here. I'm going to take a small amount of slip and push it at each place. The clay is really plastic, so I don't need a whole lot of slip or score. I just need to press it into place, leaving a little gap between each one. Because this is an additive texture, which means we're adding the pieces and pieces on there, it absolutely must be scored and slipped every single time. Otherwise, they will pop off. So you must press them firmly into place. And then I continue with the next row. You're going to do this for each and every one of your sections until you complete. At the end of each class period, I suggest you store this on a piece of the cardboard so that it's nice and supported. The whole shebang, on the cardboard, any leftover clay gets stored inside a closed-top plastic bag until you are complete. Once you are complete, we will allow the slab to slowly dry. Good luck.